Everybody, this is GGFan. I know it's been a long time since I've produced any content. I had been traveling for quite a while. I visited 10 different countries over the last couple of months. Been very busy in the realm of real life. Now I'm back, have some free time on my hands, so I've decided to upload some videos again. I really want to tackle the world of narration. Now, narration is something I've considered doing for a long time, but I never got around to it. Um, However, I don't just want to upload old tour games I had. I want to use some of the teams I built from over 20 years ago. And I put these old teams from antiquity into the spotlight. Um, One of them was my TOS, however you choose to pronounce it. TOS was the first tournament I ever won. I won this tournament over 23 years ago. So this team I built here is almost 24 years old. And one thing you'll notice immediately is the absence of Snorlax and Chansey. So the premise of this team was to give Slowbro as much paralysis support as possible, send in Slowbro towards the end of the game, and hopefully sweep away the competition. I have Golem in case the opponent brings in a Zapdos, which gives Slowbro some much needed coverage and support. I need to point out a couple of things with the movesets. First of all, I don't remember whether the fourth move on Executor was Stun Spore or Mega Drain. My primary goal with these teams is to be as faithful as I can to the original constructs. In this case, since I don't remember what the fourth move was, it's at my discretion whether I want to use Stun Spore or Mega Drain. In this case, I feel like Stun Spore will be more conducive to success in the long run. Slowbro needs the paralysis support. I'll go with that for now. Alakazam has Seismic Toss and not Reflect, even though it's not a lead Alakazam. I distinctly remember running Seismic Toss at this time. If I were using this team without this constraint in place, I would most likely give Golem substitute over Rock Slide, but I definitely, absolutely, positively ran Rock Slide on Golem back then, so the moveset is Earthquake, Rock Slide, Body Slam, Explosion. Tauros is the time-tested standard that we all know and love. Slowbro is the classic Toby Bro set. No Ice Beam, Psychic, no gimmicks like Reflect and Withdraw, Counter. It is the classic Amnesia, Surf, Thunder Wave, Rest. Alright, without further ado, let's get on with it. So the opponent sends in Jinx. Jinx is probably the last thing I want to see. It's very problematic for this team. Gengar lead also isn't great. I get Jinx here. Since Executor is my sleeper, I don't want to fire off Thunder Wave. Instead, I opt for Thunderbolt, and I hope that I don't paralyze the Jinx. I send in Alakazam here because I didn't have better options. At least I feel that this was the best option. I can't switch into Executor, obviously. Can't switch into Golem. Going into Slowbro wouldn't be great either. My game plan here is to take the Blizzard and hopefully force a rest. This definitely surprised me. I know that Body Slam Jinx made a resurgence recently. Nonetheless, I was surprised. It's funny because Body Slam Jinx is something I conceptualized over 20 years ago. It's something I used to run a lot. it made sense back then because Body Slam could paralyze normal types. So I would, for example, put the lead Starmie to sleep and then paralyze the incoming Snorlax or Chansey with Body Slam. Um, like I said, I know it made a resurgence recently, and it did its job here. It paralyzes my Alakazam. I don't really have much of a choice but to hope that Blizzard is not a critical hit. I believe I clicked on Seismic Toss, and I was just no, I clicked on Recover for sure. But I accept that Alakazam might die here. I go to Tauros because Jinx was in Body Slam range, and I did not have anything that wanted to take on Jinx. Opponent switches into Executor. I don't get the Paraslam, which honestly was a good thing because my sleeper is Executor. So if I paralyzed the Executor, landing sleep would have been extremely difficult. Stun Spore was pretty obvious, but I had no choice but to take it. I put the Jinx to sleep. I also anticipated the opponent to switch into Jinx, but I really need to land sleep since I'm behind in this game. It's better to put something to sleep than nothing to sleep. I put the Jinx to sleep, and then I land the Stun Spore without any difficulties. So I'm finding my way back in this game. My game plan now is to wear down the Executor and at least get it into Tauros Hyper Beam range. Both Executors go down. I did contemplate sending in Starmie in order to wake up. This was probably Starmie's best shot at waking up in this game. Instead, I opt for the conservative move to keep Executor in, wear down the opposing Executor. Um, so right now it's basically 4-on-3. My Starmie is asleep. Let's see what the opponent has left. Um, so I see Jolteon, which was great because that puts me back into the game automatically. I have something that completely shuts down the electric type. Um, I was expecting Snorlax or Tauros to come in, which is why I clicked on Earthquake as opposed to Body Slam. Instead, the opponent decided to sacrifice Jinx. You might be wondering why I switched into Starmie. It was because since I had already revealed my Slowbro, I was respecting the possibility of a Thunder Wave from the opponent. Um, so I sent in Starmie to absorb it. But that didn't happen. Instead, the opponent used Amnesia twice. Now, during this exchange, the Jolteon was constantly on my mind. I was, not sure when to use rest. I was respecting the Jolteon. The opponent does not switch it in, which gives me an opportunity to rest, get my health back up to full. The opponent is being very aggressive, is using Surf relentlessly. I'm okay with that. I'm winning the PP war. Opponent is using several Surfs, paralyzing me again. I fire off a Surf. I still respect that Jolteon on the bench. 44%. I decide to go for the rest. Opponent has played their Slowbro quite aggressively. Instead of going to Jolteon, the opponent switches into Tauros. They're going to go for a critical hit Hyper Beam. Luckily, the 21% critical hit ratio does not kick in, and I kill it. I go to Golem. Opponent switches into Slowbro. I don't think I agree with that. I feel like Slowbro was the opponent's major win condition at this point in the game. I would have let Jolteon go. It was pretty much impossible for it to accomplish anything in this game. In comes Rhydon. I let Slowbro go because it had no worth. Also because had I switched in Starmie instead, it would have allowed Rhydon to set up Substitute. So I let Slowbro go. I use Earthquake because Blizzard can miss, and also if the opponent got cute and switched into Jolteon, they would have been punished for it. All I have to do at this point in the game to win is hope that Earthquake is not a critical hit. After landing the second Earthquake, Golem cleans up and outspeeds Rhydon. Golem has two major advantages over Rhydon: Explosion and being faster than Rhydon. Now, you might be wondering why on earth I switched to Starmie. It's because I'm covering all my bases. Maybe the opponent is running this really wacky goofball set that has Sand Attack in it. Jolteon uses Sand Attack. Golem's Earthquake misses. Well, I can switch into Starmie, hope that I wake up, and now I have an extra Pokemon. So if I get extremely unlucky because of Sand Attack, I can still win via 1-2-56 miss. I cover all my bases. Starmie wakes up. I get the lucky wake up. Golem comes in. And another reason, not just Sand Attack, but because Jolteon can tank Earthquake. Golem's Earthquake is very underwhelming compared to Rhydon's. It is not guaranteed to kill Jolteon. It didn't matter, though. Jolteon did not have Sand Attack, and I win this game. This team I built almost 24 years ago pulls off the win. I write Vintage Golem because of the underwhelming Earthquake that you see here. That's it. That's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe you're grinding on the ladder and you found it helpful. If you found it helpful, wow. Very pleased to hear that. Maybe you didn't find it helpful, you just found it entertaining. However you feel about this video, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye, everybody.